Hello friends, and welcome to something a little different than what we usually do around here. As the year comes to a close and snow covers the ground, it makes you just want to curl up with some nice relaxing nostalgia and embrace the holiday spirit. I would like to talk about a game that I think perfectly encapsulates that, and also brings back some really good memories from when I was a kid. The holiday I'm referring to is, of course, Halloween. Tonight, we're going to be looking at a game that has had a very special place in my heart and my gaming backlog for a very long time. It was around 2013 that I started playing video games online. I would play on my older brother's Xbox 360, and I remember spending a lot of time in Black Ops 2 lobbies and playing Castle Crashers. When I was around that age, I didn't really have the attention span or the skill level required to play through most games. Still, I wanted to give games a try when they really piqued my interest. One September afternoon, I would be introduced to an Xbox Live Arcade indie game called Costume Quest. Created by an ex-Pixar employee named Tasha Harris, who would partner with a certain Tim Schafer with the goal of creating a game that was set to capture the feeling of kids playing dress-up. The team over at Double Fine would crack out the family photo album and pull up pictures to get real inspiration for the whimsy of costumes and Halloween. Playing this game at the time, I never really got beyond that first hour, but despite that lack of playtime, it was still very memorable. Fast forward an indeterminate amount of years, and I was on Steam, searching for a new game to waste my time on, when I was met with a very familiar and friendly face. I excitedly buy Costume Quest once again, reigniting all that joy I once felt for the game. I would then forget to continue playing for like 3 years, but now I've finally done it. I've completed Costume Quest and lived to tell the tale. We start off with an established shot of the cul-de-sac during Halloween night. This scene alone is enough to start stirring up the spooky vibes for me. Probably because it reminds me of the establishing shot done in the first Halloween Town movie. It's now that we're introduced to the main characters of our story, twin siblings called Ren and Reynold. Very creative parents. We learn that they're new in town as their mother encourages them to go out and make some friends. During this scene, we also get a good introduction to the dynamic between the twins. They don't like each other very much. While this fight is going on, Dad is sat reading a newspaper that reports a candy shortage. Must be a slow news day. To avoid further fighting, Mom decides to put one of the two in charge for the night, and this is the part where we get to choose who we're playing as. I always appreciate when the character choice is contextualized in games like this. Also, I just appreciate when games don't ask me, are you a boy or a girl? And just like that, it is decided. Ren will be in charge for the night. I don't trust something about Reynolds' face. So, our darling Ren will be our main character, and Reynold will be there with us also. The kids get their costumes on and head out to trick-or-treat. Ren is dressed as a blue robot, and Reynold is dressed as an orange triangle. Obviously, Ren is embarrassed to be seen with this isosceles monster, and drags him reluctantly to the first house. We knock on the door and hold out our candy pails for... This candy shortage is a bitch. Okay, obviously Ren and I aren't the only ones with these opinions on Reynolds' stupid-ass costume. This adult stranger agrees with us so hard that he gives us a single piece of candy and tells us to get lost. It's a real friendly neighborhood we moved into. Ren and I now refuse to be seen with her loser brother, and we stay behind the mailbox while Reynold knocks on the next door on his own. Big surprise, there's no adult pining to bully children on the other side of the door this time, just this big green dude on the hunt for some candy. He mistakes Reynold for a bag of gummy worms or something, and carries him off to... Is everyone seeing this giant hell door in the middle of the neighborhood? The big scary door with speakers that emit an ominous voice commanding actual monsters around? A child is being stolen by a giant troll not even 2 full minutes from his home. Meanwhile, Dad is in there reading the newspaper. How is candy shortage the biggest headline here? No one thought to report giant toads terrorizing the youth. Young boy seen cosplaying a shape. Strange hell door located right outside your house. Don't send your kids out there alone. This tall woman destroys our Optimus Prime costume and tells us we'll never see our brother again. Well, thank God that loser's gone. Him and his stupid Wawa baby triangle suit brought a disgrace to the family into the holiday. I've seen people ostracized for less. If the green dude didn't show up, I might have just left this kid at the McDonald's ball pit and gone back home. But after some thinking, Ren realizes that if she comes home at the end of the night without Reynold, especially after being put in charge, she will be so grounded. Now, the hell door won't open until all the houses in the neighborhood have been thoroughly tricked and treated at, which means we've got to get to work. On the east side of town, we're met with a horde of mummies blocking the path, led by the local gang leader, Travis. This is our first chance to talk with the NPCs in the game, and we get a good mood setter for how the dialogue will be moving forward. Let me just say that the humor in this game is fantastic. It's one of the things I remember most about playing this game when I was younger. This incredibly charming dialogue is present throughout the entire game from every character you have the pleasure of speaking to. This, matched with the cozy atmosphere and cute art style, really gets the Halloween vibes going for me. But first, we go around and recollect the pieces of our costume, so now we're able to use our Heelys to speed around. Travis publicly performs what I'm pretty sure can be classified as a hate crime, and our ever-powerful social justice warrior Ren steps in. We agree to settle the quarrel with a race. Whoever makes their way around the neighborhood fastest gets the firstborn child of the loser or something. I'm not really sure because I was too busy absolutely smoking Travis's bitch ass in this race. The grateful victim then introduces himself as Everett, the valiant knight. We're immediately besties and he decides to join us for trick-or-treating and to save our brother. So what, we're going on some kind of costume quest? With the addition of Everett, we're given the option of trying on his sick knight costume. Nearly every costume in the game has a passive skill that can be used in the overworld to help with exploring. Ren's robot costume comes with his skates to make her travel faster, and Everett's shield can protect you from hazards such as this waterfall or this squirrel that throws things at you. The progression from here on is pretty simple. A knock on a door, an adult comes out and says a cute little line, gives you and Everett a generous glove of candy, walk to the next house. Huge surprise though, it's apparently not very safe for children to just knock on strangers' doors in a neighborhood who you know no one in, while unsupervised at night. Sometimes we'll be thwarted by more of these grubby guys who are also on the hunt for candy. After you get candy from a house or fight the monster who is inside, the lights go out, which makes it a lot easier to navigate the neighborhood and remember where you've already gone. And I'm certain that without this mechanic, I would be going around in circles, knocking on the same 3 houses over and over. We can also talk to the other kids on the block. The variety of costumes is so fun to look at and appreciate. We've got kids dressed as mummies, princesses, one of those guys from Of Mice and Men, a police officer, Gabe Lubis from The Office. It's really a diverse community we live in here. Through talking to some of these other kids, we're given some side quests. There's really only 4 types of them though. 1. Some kid is looking for a specific trading card, which you're awarded at the end of battles. 2. A few kids are playing hide and seek and you have to go around and find all of them. 3. This girl Sadie gives you patches that grant different buffs in battle in exchange for candy. And 4. This really tall kid challenges you to bob for a certain number of apples in a set amount of time, again in exchange for candy. These 4 ideas are present in the next 2 main locations of the game as well. Also, through your adventure, you'll be collecting parts to use in more costumes you can wear and use in battle. This element of the game is really fun, and I think it emphasizes the sense of childlike creativity and imagination. Turning some random cheap objects into a costume to wear feels so satisfying each time. After clearing the neighborhood and a quick boss fight with this dude Bojan, we follow the monsters to the local mall. Again, the goal is to stop at each store to collect candy, use that candy for more patches, find kids playing hide and seek, bob for apples, and fight monsters. Also in this section, we get to join the costume contest! Well, we would get to join if we had one more friend, but sadly it's just little old me and Everett. Bam! Welcome to the party, Lucy! Now that we've opened the hell door in this area, we can finally go collect our brother and enjoy our Halloween together. Oh, I can't wait to introduce him to our new friends and spend the rest of the night adventuring and collecting candy. I bet he's gonna love Lucy and Everett. We're gonna have the best time hanging out and... Oh. Well, thank God that loser's gone. Him and his stupid Wawa baby triangle suit brought a disgrace to the family and to the holiday. I've seen people ostracized for less. If the green dude didn't show up, I might have just left this kid at the McDonald's ball pit and gone back home. We get sent to our third and final area, Fall Valley. Our costumes have been stolen from us and are on the way to be destroyed. In order to get our costumes back and progress, I've got to help the local frymonger by luring children to him. Huh. Anyway, I always thought this fry costume was really neat. Something about the way it glows looks so warm and yummy. The way the fry monster looks in battle is so badass as well. As I'm sure you've noticed, each costume gets a cool new form when you enter a battle sequence, and they're all excellent. They've all got a unique special attack cutscene, and they're all super fun to watch. They only take 3 turns to charge, and they're very useful, so you'll be seeing them very often. I'm honestly surprised that the little cutscenes are so charming and well done that it doesn't become tedious watching them all for a 20th time in a row. As soon as we enter the Fall Valley Carnival, we're met with a mysterious fortune teller. He introduces himself as a friend, and also Dorcia's brother, and also a cat, and also a scarecrow that I forgot to mention from earlier, but they don't really matter, and this plot twist didn't really do anything for me or for the story, so, you know. Also, while I was at the carnival and doing the sections popping for apples game, I wanted to just keep slamming my face into the water because I thought it was funny, but I ended up winning the game anyways, which just made me feel less good about my previous victories. After I was finishing collecting candy for this area and was headed to the monster maze, I remembered that there were the hide-and-seek kids that I needed to find. I don't know why I struggled finding them all in Fall Valley. I'm pretty sure I spent more time looking for the last kid than I spent in the entire mall section of the game. Ren and the gang makes their way up to the mountain to face Dorcia for the last time, and whether Reynolds likes it or not, he is coming home with me, because I'd rather be killed and eaten by this evil hell witch than risk being grounded! After we beat Dorcia to a pulp, she calls for backup. The king of what is implied to be the underworld and where all the monsters had come from. Big Bones. It looks like we're gonna have to fight both at once until it's revealed that Dorcia was planning on double-crossing BB and taking over the monster realm. I really wasn't paying attention here, and I accidentally started the boss fight before I was ready, and so I lost. But we're gonna pretend like I threw the match on purpose, because I still had to go back and collect the last patch that I forgot to buy. That loss was planned and tactical, I promise. Our heroes fight this big skeleton dude and win. Ren patches things up with her brother, and we set off on taking back all the stolen candy and sharing it with all the kids we met on our adventure. The scene cuts to us back at home with Lucy and Everett sitting on the living room floor and doing some candy trades. Mom comes in to say that we're all good to have a sleepover. Dad puts down his newspaper to take the dad tax. The kids argue about the rules of trading and what candy is gross or not. This closing scene is simple, but it hits really well. This kind of innocent fun, that kind of relaxation you feel after a long night of candy hunting and finally being back at home with your friends just conjures so many nostalgic emotions and memories of being in this exact spot. Games that are designed to be played around the spooky time of year usually take a horror genre perspective. And don't get me wrong, that's all well and good, but Costume Quest takes a very different approach at a Halloween game. The goal isn't to make you want to keep the hall light on tonight or to hide under the covers. The goal is to take you back to a time where you were a kid like this, and Halloween felt like an adventure. How easy it was to make friends when you were so young, getting used to being in a new environment, learning to get along with your siblings, that spark of excitement and getting to have a sleepover with your best friends. These are also vital to the feeling of Costume Quest that it makes it so heartwarming and enjoyable to play. This game has been in the back of my mind for almost a decade now, and that was for a good reason. And that's the holiday special. I hope you've enjoyed this brief departure from my usual rhythm. I've been wanting to make content like this, talking about games for a little while, so I hope it goes over well. But either way, I'm still glad to have been able to talk about and share this great game that I think is a perfect representation of the holiday. Shit, it's December?